Family, can I tell you something? When God speaks, it shakes the very foundation of how we've been living. Sometimes he whispers. Sometimes he shouts through circumstances. And sometimes he just drops a word so heavy on your spirit that you know it was him. And he told me to tell you this. 5 things will happen in August 2025. Not maybe, not someday, but in his appointed time. See, we often mark our calendars with birthdays, anniversaries, deadlines, and events, but God marks his calendar with destiny. And August 2025 is not just another month. It is a divine intersection. It is the season where promises that felt delayed will be delivered, where prayers that seemed unanswered will suddenly overflow, where hidden struggles will turn into visible testimonies. God is setting things in motion right now. And if you are listening with your spirit and not just your ears, you're going to catch the wave of what he is about to do. There are moments in life when everything looks the same on the outside, yet in the unseen realm, God is orchestrating a divine shift that you can not yet recognize. This is what he means by divine shifts in hidden places. You may not feel the ground shaking, you may not hear the trumpet sounding, but something in the spirit is moving on your behalf. God often begins transformation in obscurity, away from the crowd, away from the applause, away from the validation of others. Just like seeds breaking open in the dark soil, what he is birthing in you will not be visible immediately. And yet the shift is real, powerful, undeniable. This is why you cannot afford to dismiss seasons that feel quiet, seasons where nothing seems to be happening, because those are often the very seasons where the most important work is being done. Divine shifts are not about noise. They are about positioning. God is positioning you, aligning circumstances, aligning connections, aligning even your internal thoughts, so that when the manifestation shows up, you are not just in the right place, but you are the right person to receive it. Think about David in the fields, forgotten by his family, unseen by his brothers. Nobody clapped for him while he was tending sheep. Nobody noticed when he was worshiping alone. Nobody cared when he was slaying lions and bears in obscurity. But those hidden places were the training ground, the soil where God was preparing a king. The shift had already happened in the spiritual realm long before Samuel poured oil on his head. August 2025 is about to reveal the results of the shifts God has been making behind closed doors in your life. Some of you are frustrated because you can't see the evidence of progress, but what if God is protecting you from premature exposure? What if the reason you have been hidden is not because you are forgotten, but because you are being developed? Shifts in hidden places don't need validation from people. They require faith from you. You must believe that even when you cannot trace his hand, his plan is still unfolding. You must trust that the silence is not absence, but strategy. This is also a season where God is shifting your internal environment. He is shifting your mindset, pulling down strongholds, breaking cycles that have kept you bound for generations. Sometimes the greatest shift is not in the world around you, but in the way you think, the way you speak, the way you see yourself. God is renewing minds, healing wounds that were buried deep, rewiring your identity so that when opportunity comes, you are not sabotaged by insecurity or fear. A divine shift in hidden places also means that enemies won't even see it coming. While they are plotting against what they think they know about you, God is preparing a new version of you that they cannot predict or control. Hidden shifts make you unpredictable to the enemy because you are no longer functioning out of the same patterns. What used to distract you will no longer distract you. What used to tempt you will no longer tempt you. What used to intimidate you will no longer intimidate you. That's the power of a hidden shift. It transforms you from the inside out so that by the time God reveals you, you are unrecognizable to those who underestimated you. Some of you need to get comfortable with being unseen for a little while longer, because hiddenness is holy. Hiddenness is safety. Hiddenness is where God makes sure your roots are deep enough to hold the weight of the fruit he is about to release. When August 2025 arrives, what looks like an overnight change will actually be the unveiling of shifts that have been happening for months, even years, in the secret place with God. And when he brings you into the light, there will be no denying that it was him all along. There are doors in life that we spend years knocking on, hoping they will open, only to hear silence on the other side. We pray, we push, we plan, and sometimes it feels like those doors are sealed shut forever. But when God speaks about unexpected doors of opportunity, he's talking about openings you didn't even know were there. Doors that you didn't knock on, connections you didn't chase, blessings that seem to come out of nowhere but are really the result of his orchestration. God is not limited by what you see or by what you think you deserve. He is the God who specializes in exceeding abundantly above all you could ask or imagine. August 2025 is going to carry moments where what you thought was closed off will suddenly swing wide open, not because of your resume, not because of your qualifications, but because of his divine favor. An unexpected door means it doesn't fit the script you wrote for yourself. You thought you would get the promotion by climbing the ladder the traditional way, but God creates a position just for you. You thought your breakthrough would come through the people you know, but he raises up a stranger to bless you. You thought the healing would come through one method, but God uses another. He has a way of surprising you, of reminding you that his ways are higher, his thoughts are greater, and his methods are limitless. These unexpected doors are not random. They are divine interruptions to remind you that you are in his hands. But here's the thing about unexpected doors. They often show up looking ordinary. They rarely announce themselves with flashing lights. They may come in the form of a conversation, a chance meeting, a small assignment, or an opportunity that looks beneath you. That's why you must remain sensitive, discerning, and humble. Some people miss their unexpected doors because they're too busy waiting for something glamorous. But if you can be faithful over the small, God will open doors that lead to the greater. What feels like an insignificant moment could be the hinge on which your entire destiny swings. There's also an element of courage tied to unexpected doors. When they open, they may not look safe. They may not look familiar, and they may not fit the box of what you've prepared for. You will have to step into some rooms that intimidate you, sit at tables where you feel unqualified, and walk through spaces where your confidence will need to rest solely on God. That's the beauty of it. He doesn't open doors to confirm your confidence in yourself. He opens doors to confirm your confidence in him. When he opens it, he equips you. When he positions you, he sustains you. When he makes the way, he ensures that no man can shut it. Some of you have been so conditioned to expect disappointment that when the door swings open, you hesitate. You question if it's real. You wonder if it's a trap. You wait for it to be snatched away. But God is saying that these doors are not tricks, they are treasures. They are not meant to tease you. They are meant to take you higher. You cannot let fear make you miss what faith is trying to deliver. Every unexpected door in this season requires a step of boldness, a willingness to leave behind comfort zones, and an openness to let God lead you into the unfamiliar. And I hear God saying that some of these doors won't just be for you. They will be doors that unlock opportunities for generations connected to you. When Joseph was elevated in Egypt, it wasn't just for him. It was for his entire family and for nations he didn't even know would be impacted. In the same way, your obedience to walk through the unexpected door will ripple beyond you. Somebody's freedom is attached to you walking through. Somebody's healing is tied to your yes. Somebody's breakthrough is hidden behind your obedience. This is bigger than you. So don't despise small beginnings. Don't overlook what looks ordinary. Don't shy away from what feels intimidating. God is about to open doors in August 2025 that will not only surprise you, they will surpass every expectation you've held. The kind of doors that remind you you're not forgotten. The kind of doors that silence the doubts. The kind of doors that confirm, once again, that when he said he would do it, he meant every single word. When God begins to talk about restoration, he's not talking about just giving you back what you lost in the exact way you lost it. He's talking about redeeming time, healing wounds, and multiplying what the enemy thought was destroyed. Restoration is not a rewind, it's a renewal. It's God taking the broken pieces and making something so whole that you almost forget where the cracks were. In August 2025, there will be a wave of restoration that touches areas you had written off, areas you assumed were gone forever, areas you stopped praying about because you were tired of the disappointment. God is saying, I haven't forgotten, and I haven't finished. Sometimes restoration doesn't look like what you expect. You thought the relationship would come back the same way, but God restores your heart instead. You thought the job would return exactly as it was, but he gives you a new opportunity that is greater. You thought your joy could never recover after the pain you went through, but he restores your peace in a way that feels deeper, stronger, and unshakable. This is not about repeating the past. It's about God rewriting your future. When Job prophesied that God would restore the years the locusts have eaten, it meant that even the seasons that felt wasted, the tears that felt useless, the years that seemed stolen would all be redeemed in a way only he can do. Restoration also carries the power of vindication. Some of you have been through seasons where people laughed at your loss, where they whispered about your downfall, where they pointed fingers and assumed you were finished. But when God restores, he doesn't just give back quietly. He prepares a table before you in the presence of those who doubted. He makes your testimony undeniable. He lets the same people who saw you broken see you healed, the same people who saw you down see you lifted, the same people who thought it was over watch you walk in overflow. That's the kind of restoration that is coming. But let's be real. Restoration requires you to let go of bitterness. You cannot be restored while still clinging to the pain of what was lost. You have to release the need for revenge, release the obsession with why it happened, release the anger that tries to build a home in your soul. God cannot pour new oil into a vessel filled with old resentment. If you want restoration, you have to make room for it. You have to believe that his promise is better than your plan for payback, that his healing is more powerful than your hurt. Restoration is waiting, but your heart has to be ready to receive it. Now use it. This is also a season where restoration will feel like a surprise. Some of you thought you were too far gone, too damaged, too late, too old, but the Spirit of God is saying it's not too late. He is restoring dreams you buried, talents you neglected, gifts you let sit dormant because life got heavy. He is breathing on what you thought was dead, just like he asked Ezekiel, can these dry bones live? He's asking you if you believe that he can bring life back to what looks impossible. And if you dare to believe, you're about to see bones come together, breath return, and life rise again. Restoration also has layers. For some, it will be financial recovery, resources that were stolen coming back multiplied. For others, it will be relational, family members reconciled, love renewed, broken trust rebuilt. For others, it will be spiritual, a fresh fire for prayer, a new hunger for the word, a revival in your soul that you didn't even know you needed. God restores in ways that reach every corner of your being. Because he doesn't just want you surviving, he wants you whole. He doesn't just want you functioning, he wants you flourishing. August 2025 will be marked by stories of people saying, I never thought I'd get this back. I never thought I'd feel this alive again. I never thought I'd see this relationship healed. I never thought I'd have joy again. But God, that's what restoration does. It reminds you that God is not finished, that your story isn't over, that his hand is still writing chapters you couldn't imagine. Restoration is coming not to tease you, but to transform you, not to remind you of what you lost, but to reveal what he's still capable of giving. When God begins to move in a season of exposure, it can feel unsettling, but it is always necessary. Exposure is not about embarrassing you. It's about protecting you. It's about pulling back the curtain so you can see the truth clearly, so you're not deceived by what looks good on the outside but is rotten on the inside. August 2025 will carry a wave of exposure, and it will reveal the things, the people, and even the mindsets that were never aligned with God's will for your life. It may sting at first, but exposure is God's mercy because he loves you too much to let you keep walking in the dark. Sometimes what gets exposed isn't other people, it's us. It's the habits we've hidden, the compromises we've justified, the wounds we've tried to cover up with busyness or success. God exposes so he can heal. He doesn't pull back the cover to shame you. He does it to save you. The truth is, what stays hidden keeps you bound, but what is brought into the light can finally be broken off of you. Some of the exposure in this season will feel like God holding up a mirror, saying, it's time to deal with this. It's time to stop pretending. It's time to walk in the freedom I died to give you. But exposure doesn't stop there. It also shows up in relationships, in connections that looked loyal but were really leeching, in partnerships that seemed profitable but were really poisonous. For too long, some of you have been blinded by charisma, distracted by appearance, or comforted by familiarity. You didn't see the hidden agenda, the manipulation, the mask. God is saying, I am pulling it back now. Because you cannot carry false people into a true season. The exposure may hurt because sometimes the people you thought you needed are the very ones holding you back, but the pain of release is nothing compared to the pain of staying bound to what was never real. Exposure also comes to dismantle illusions. Some of you have been building your lives around ideas that sound good but are not God. Culture told you success looks a certain way and you chased it. Society told you love had to come packaged a certain way and you believed it. Religion told you performance was the way to please God and you exhausted yourself trying. But in August 2025, God is exposing false definitions, false standards, false idols. He's reminding you that his truth is the only foundation that stands, that his word is the only light that doesn't fade, that his spirit is the only guide that won't lead you into destruction. What is false cannot stand in the presence of what is true. And exposure is not just about individuals, it's about systems, environments, and even opportunities that looked promising but were traps in disguise. God is going to show you what you couldn't see before. He is going to give you clarity, discernment, and wisdom to recognize what is authentic and what is counterfeit. That's why you may feel a shift in your spirit when you're around certain people or places, not because you're judgmental, but because the Spirit is alerting you to danger. You can't afford to ignore those nudges anymore. Exposure is the gift that saves you from destruction. But let me also tell you this. Exposure works in your favor too. While God is exposing what is false around you, he is also exposing the truth about who you are. He's exposing the greatness that's been buried under insecurity, the strength that's been hidden behind fear, the calling that's been silenced by doubt. This season isn't just about you seeing the false in others, it's about you seeing the truth in yourself. For too long, lies have told you you're not enough. Lies have told you you're too broken. Lies have told you you're disqualified. But God is pulling back the veil, showing you that you are chosen, equipped, and anointed for such a time as this. So don't be afraid when exposure comes. Don't run from it. Don't resist it. Don't cling to what God is tearing away. Trust that he knows what he's doing. Exposure is painful in the moment, but it's the kind of pain that leads to freedom. It's the kind of truth that sets you free. And when August 2025 unfolds, you will look back and realize that what was exposed didn't break you, it built you. It didn't ruin you, it released you. It didn't end you, it elevated you. When God talks about acceleration, he's talking about making up for time that you thought was wasted. He's talking about pushing things forward at a speed you could not manufacture on your own. Some of you have been waiting for years, praying for seasons, holding on to promises that felt like they were dragging their feet. But in August 2025, God is saying what was delayed is about to be accelerated. What took others decades to build will take you months. What seems stuck will suddenly move. What felt like it would never come will arrive quicker than you expected. It's not because of luck. It's not because of shortcuts. It's because God himself has decided that the wait is over. Acceleration is not about skipping the process.